All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just quickly make this live podcast regarding a very tragic business and unwarranted situation regarding Mr. Trocon Gray, also known as Yellow Machine, who today have been invited to a radio program at Truth FM. And he simply want to express and to give details to the public regarding the planned July 17 peaceful protest. Unfortunately, while he was on radio discussing details of the protest, without any provocation, without breaking any laws, without establishing any basis for an arbitrary police action, the Liberian National Police of Gregory Como has surrounded the Truth FM premises to arbitrarily arrest Trocon Gray without any legal justification. If there's one, I do not know of it. Mr. Gray is being harassed, intimidated, and threatened because of his outspokenness on issues of national interest, particularly the planned July 17 peaceful protest that is irreversibly fixed, that is unstoppable, that will not be delayed 1 second because of this brutal police crackdown that has been exercised throughout the country. And this is wrong, and we call attention to our international development partners to take note and to intervene, to remind the police of the existing democratic environment that requires freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of movement. And then knock on the doors of the media entity and require, suggest his security to serious danger. And we want to use this occasion to remind President Weekie, whatever affects Trocon Gray is your responsibility. If Mr. Gray is killed tonight at the hands of the notorious Gregory Como-led police force, Mr. Weekie will be held responsible, will be held liable, will be held accountable. You will not escape accountability for whatever that transpires in the police brutal attempt to arrest a man that is not in hot pursuit at 12 midnight, who has gone on radio to speak to issues regarding a peaceful protest that is going to unravel, that will shake the foundations of bad governance, corruption, impunity, and lawlessness on July 17. I don't know how you think you can intimidate or forestall a mass-based, people-driven process that is deemed to occur regardless of police approval or otherwise. Your attempt at intimidating, your attempt at creating fear, panic, and pandemonium is not going to deter the success of this particular planned protest. It's not going to deter the success of this peaceful, not violent, democratic right. The people will assemble. And this situation continues to escalate. Our people, Liberian citizens, are being arrested daily. They have been arrested in different places. By the time I'm through with this podcast, I'm going to begin to publish some of the names of notable figures that have been arrested in the communities because of the fear and the panic that has engulfed the security apparatus. Fear of the right of citizens to exercise their democratic franchise. This is wrong. This is unprecedented in post-conflict Liberia. Weekie is retrogressing the democratic progress that we've made, that we are supposed to be protecting since the world ended. He's taking us back to the dark days, the slippery dark days of anarchy, of lawlessness, mysterious disappearances, etc. Today, I got credible reports that people have been kidnapped, that some of our people have been arrested for fear that they are influential public figures in the communities that are rallying supporters. This protest, this mass-based protest, is not in anyone's hand. This is a mass-based, non-political, pro-democracy movement that cannot be stopped by the arrest of a particular leader here or a particular leader there. If you are looking for people to arrest, come and arrest Moba K. Moro Jr. I'm right here in Congotown at my home. I'm in my house talking to you. Arresting an innocent supporter and organizer who is a victim of police brutality, whose constituency continue to be victimized by police banditry. And by that I mean back riders. Motorbike riders have been victimized, they have been brutalized, their bikes have been confiscated, huge fines been levied, while they are taxpayers. At the same time, they are not permitted to operate in places where other operators are allowed to go. This is wrong and will be revised. So if you're going to arrest children for that, that is cowardice. You continue to demonstrate cowardice. You are proving to be weak, ineffective, and afraid. If you want to arrest someone, why not arrest the organizer of the protest? I am the lead organizer along with many others, but I take responsibility for organizing a pro-democracy, non-violent movement that will ensure that Mr. Bwaka will be held accountable along with his corrupt officials who are exploiting and desecrating the seat of governance. This accountability measure is unavoidable, and arresting poor bystanders, poor supporters, innocent supporters and organizers will not stop D-Day. July 17th is D-Day, and it's almost here, and nothing stops it. Come and arrest Mobile Model. Leave children alone. We warn again. If anything, if a hair on children's body is burned or is hurt, Mr. Bwaka and his bandit security apparatus will not escape responsibility or accountability for abusing the right of innocent citizens or the rights of an innocent Liberian who simply want the best for our country. Is this the democracy we are building, where Bwaka wants to be a dictator and a tyrant, abusing laws, trampling on feet or underfoot fundamental rights to appease his personal political ambition of becoming a law unto himself or rising above constitutional law? This is unacceptable, and we will not be silent. We will stand up and we will speak out. I called upon the U.S. Embassy, the European Union, ECOWAS, and other members of the international community to take note and intervene and prevent the police from bringing or dragging this country down, because the country is being put or dragged over the precipice by the lawlessness and the banditry of the LNP under Gregory Coleman. And Bwaka must be one to stop. Stop harassing peaceful citizens. We take their case to court, is thrown out lawlessly without respect for their right. We decide to peacefully converge in the street to advocate for those that are victims of police brutality, those that are victims of economic degradation, those that are victims of the deplorable healthcare sector, those that are victims of insensitive demolition exercises. And you can't countenance that? You can't allow free speech? If we cannot go to the court, which is already compromised and neutralized, which independence has been stolen by Mr. Bwaka, if our arrests are not protected by the courts, and we take our case to the street to create public awareness, you can allow that? Even though we are peaceful, and the police has become a bandit unit, a militant wing of the Unity Party, The police is supposed to be a servant of the people, a protector of the rule of law, a defender of freedom of speech, not the other way around. The police is treading in a direction that is unprecedentedly chaotic, lawless, and violent, and we the people will not stand idly by and allow the desecration of the rule of law under the LNP. So Chokram must be left alone. His rights must be protected. The entire True FM premises is being barricaded by the police. There are men in arms that have surrounded True FM. And the international community must rise up, must make intervention, place call, and ensure this madness stop. If this continues, it could be detrimental to peace and stability because the police is cracking down on the rule of law and subjecting the rest of its own citizens to public disrepute and to lawlessness. This is wrong. I will end this podcast and call on all stakeholders, those that are defenders of this government, in its eyes of brutality and inhumanity, to speak sense to Bwaka because he appears to have lost it. He appears not to be in control. This is not good. This is a dangerous sign. He is leading the country downward spiral. And these deliberate public actions that are detrimental to peace and stability need to stop. Regardless, July 17 will not be delayed, will not be stopped. Liberians, victims of police brutality, victims of lawlessness, victims of a deplorable healthcare sector, victims of hunger, victims of insensitive, selective demolition exercises. The 17th is your time. Let's rise up in the streets in their tens of thousands and put Bucket on notice that he is not above the law, that his bandit police commander, Gregory Coleman, must be dismissed. Victims of the King John massacre must rise to the reality that the blood of their sons cannot be shed in vain without accountability. Let's rise on the 17th to say enough is enough. If the police is desperate to arrest someone, I am here to be arrested. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are profoundly grateful for the opportunity that the Liberian people entrusted into our care to spearhead this mass-based, redemptive, pro-democracy initiative. Please put your phone silence, man. Silence. So we are in the diaspora. This process started small, as every genuine process auto, and has generated so much enthusiasm. To the extent that it is supported on every continent where Liberians are present, every country within the geographic bailiwick of the Republic of Liberia, every district, every zone, every hamlet, every mountaintop, across every river, before every valley. This is not a process that is about us, but about the people, the struggling citizens of the Republic, those that continue to be disenfranchised, the marginalized, the economically dispossessed, victims of cruel, insensitive, government-backed demolition exercises. Victims of state-backed, insensitive, and senseless demolition exercises, victims of police brutality, those that are alienated from civil service because of their political identities, Liberians that have been excluded from being beneficiary of a viable healthcare sector that continues to be dilapidated and remains deplorable. While President Boubacar lies every day to the people of Liberia, to the extent where the deplorability of the healthcare sector is visible. Marketeers who leave their homes every day go to various market centers, various business locations, and sit all day without one customer coming to ask, how much is this, how much is that? They leave home empty, go to marketplaces, and go back home empty. And sometimes they have to pay more than what they made in profit or capital to run commercial vehicles or to run motorbikes that have been restricted. Bike riders in the hundreds of thousands that constitute a viable component of our economy, from whom more than 14 million US dollars were generated in taxes, licenses, helmets, reflective jackets. But yet they are not allowed to move about freely. Motorbike riders contributed in 1 year more than 14 million United States dollars to the national budget. Yet their rights are being restricted from plying the street to go to Central Monrovia, where corrupt government officials go to work only to dilly-dally for pleasantries, and they are paid by taxpayers who struggle, who labor to raise resources for the corrupt to enjoy. The time has come to say enough is enough.
Let me be clear.
No matter the efforts being made to politicize this process, it is a non-political activity. It's a non-political struggle. That is about the people of Liberia that are struggling every day. Taxes have been raised from their backs, from their struggles, from their sufferings. They labor every day, some brick rack, some on minefields, working on plantations to make money, paying taxes. Like in Kinjal, where police brutality was demonstrated when the Gregory Cuomo-led police bandit unit and the elite police force were deployed by Joseph Boubacar himself under his authority. 3 young men that would have been seated today with us in this conference room, or that would have been in the classroom, or that should have been someplace doing legal hustle, were brutally gunned down by the Gregory Cuomo-led police force, only for exercising their democratic right to protest against the bad labor practices of B Mountain in Grand Cape County, that is hauling millions and millions, if not tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions per annum to foreign capitals, while the living conditions of Cape Mountaineers remain degraded, remain inhumane, when the people of Grand Cape County are dehumanized every day by economic deprivation, The time has come for Liberians to stand and say enough is enough. I went to JFK, the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, where Joseph Boyka doing the sonar lied. Boyka lied at the State of the Nation address that prescription drugs have been procured for medical centers, including JFK. But today, don't take my word for it, go to JFK. Ordinary Liberians go to state-run hospital.
The kingdom of heaven and its righteousness. Not second, not when you are in trouble, but first. Revelation 3:16 says, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. God does not want half love. He wants full heart. Let me be honest. Some of us love our phone more than we love God. Some of us, we spend more time with our phone than we spend with our Bible. More than we love God. Some of us talk more to our friends than to the Holy Spirit. Some of us could rather miss church than to miss a party or a gathering. Some of us give your money to things that don't last. But when it comes to giving to God, we say so much. And we say we are broke. Can you imagine God watching this after all He has done for us? After all the night He protected you and me. After all the battle we fought that you don't even know. Some you boast, but He gave you the victory. After He sent His Son to die for you, we will still trust Him. He will still trust us and show us the love. But how about us, will we trust Him and show our love? He asks us, He said, repenting can come at any moment. You just only need to realize that I have a heart to let you live, to fulfill what I call you to do. Today is not for punishment. It is for repentance. God is not angry because He hates us. He is grieving because He loves us so much. And He misses us when we don't pay attention to Him. He wants to be close. He wants to be the first in your life, in everything. Things that you talk in your silence, in your quietness. He wants to be part of it from beginning to end. He feels jealous when He's rejected. He feels jealous when He's not consulted before decisions are made. He's been knocking at your heart door for too long. Can you hear Him now? We should restore God's place in our time right now. From tonight, from today, from onward, return to God in a rightful place. Give Him His rightful place. In your morning hour, let Him be the first when you wake up from bed. Consult the Lord. Do you know why? Do you want to test Him? Ask Him when you're going to bed. Wake me up at this hour. Wake me up at this time. You will be shocked when something prompts you to wake up. That is the presence of the Holy Spirit. He no respecter of a person. He's a God for all, and He's willing to lead us. In everything you do, let Him be the first. In your plan, ask Him before anyone else. In your giving, put Him first, not last. In your womb, let God.
Everyone, a pleasant good morning. This is your breakfast info companion program, the morning rise, certainly here Mondays to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., where we'll run through national training events in Core. Wherever you are, I'm Weekie Brooks, and Deliberate Bakke is the man here, and the team is here this morning. But this is I'd like to welcome you to your breakfast info companion program. You know, we want to talk about You know, the government of Liberia has launched the 2026 you know, they have kicked up the formulation of the 2026 national budget with a goal targeting 1 billion, of which we have never reached in our 100 and pretty close in a couple of days to 78 years. We are our national budget. So yeah, Liberia has 1 billion, the national budget 2 billion, 3 billion. But yet, we have companies. We sign concessions. And people are generating billions of dollars over a period of time. But our own income we are generating cannot reach the same amount. And we need to be asking ourselves, this is not politics. This is reality. Are we cursed as a nation? How can we sign concession that worth $1 billion to one institution, hundreds of millions to another institution, and at the end of the day, our national budget, the instrument responsible to manage the country, cannot even reach 1 billion. But we will have one company in the country that will refer to themselves as the giant for the world. You refer to one company that the richest or the biggest investment in the country, paying hundreds of millions of dollars over a period of time. But when it comes to our national budget, we struggle, crawl, fall, wake up. When we reach at a point in time, when we hit 700 million, we celebrate it. During the regime of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, when we reached 500 million, we started celebrating. We went 600 million, we celebrated. Oh yeah, for the first time. I come to look at Liberia. Our neighbors are in billions. The oldest republic in Africa still discussing millions. But everybody thinks that they love this country. You know, you hear people talk about corruption. And Liberians love to hear people who will fight these things. People who will bring to an end to the culture of impunity. And when given the chance, they walk in the same footsteps of people that they criticize. We are now talking how we generated over 700 million domestic revenue, not even from outside, right in the country. If we can, Liberians will go to pay the taxes directly, indirectly, and we can have over 700 to 800 million or 600 plus million. The technocrats must go sit on the table and look around and see. What are we having these people? People are investing in your country, and these companies from the local team seems to be richer than the country. Their budget they're operating on, the investment they're operating on. You saw as I mean, they say they put $1.7 billion infrastructure down to start carrying on some manufacturing activities in Liberia. Getting it from right here. B Mountain, MG Gold. You just leave the rest. China Union, all the different. The investment, the yearly intake are all in billions. than the country that has all of the resources, all of the mineral, all of what you think God has given us, including some of the new ones that have been discovered, still struggling to set a permanent and better structure of how the people can live and how people earn money while working. We boast for these things. Imagine we can afford to pay a minister 5, 6, 7, 8 million, $1,000 a month. Yeah, we can afford to fund names whether they're in salary and other benefit, put it together. We can afford to probably have 15,000 a month for the lawmaker. We can afford to have, after every 3 years for representatives, we have to allow for 5,000 that they can get vehicle. It's in the law. That's the law. Good. So if you're a representative in 6 years, you're entitled to 2 vehicles. You're talking about 45,000, 45,000. You come to senators. In 9 years, 3 vehicles. How many of these people on their own in 5 years can even buy 2 cars? In 9 years to buy 3 cars. I'm not saying all of them. There are some who financially are strong even before getting there in those positions. There are folks who earn the money. They were financially stable. They were well off. And they define themselves in society. But on the overall, we cannot afford to pay the least police officers $500. United States dollar. The teachers, but we are discussing with knocking on heaven's door to meet $1 billion target. A country that everybody loves to come to, a country that has almost all of the resources that people in other parts of the world are looking for, wishing to have. There are countries, some people rely heavily on tourism. Some people only got 1 or 2 minerals, but they manage it, they know how to use it. But in Liberia, it seems to be a different case. What qualifies you? Whether you get PhD, master, or what qualifies you as a policeman is to go to the police training academy. Once you graduate, you become a legitimate police officer. And any other discipline you want to add on to it, well, that's it. But we must be able to say, look, sit on the table and look. You want the police officer to give you all of the protection, or our security people, for AFL, whoever. You earn salary that sometimes the man will work for 2-3 years before he even decide to make that kind of money. You earn that salary in 1 month. And you want him to give you maximum protection. He should protect you, protect your family, and even your dwelling places. And we still having this gathering talking about 1 billion, 2 billion, 1.8 billion. What are we doing with the resources in this country? In the words of the period president, Julius Kahneman, our resources should be seen as a blessing and not a curse. And this is our opinion. It's a shame that we would be affixing our signature to people to kind of invest in the country. You hear people say the other investment worth $1 billion, the other one worth 500 million, this one worth 1.this billion. And the country that has all of what those people are extracting cannot reach a single $1 billion. We got to call meeting and to strategize. But we can't call meeting to structure how we're going to give the teacher. Look at our teachers. Liberia has turned to be a country where it's not so easy working for government, especially in certain capacity they cannot afford you to even build a house. You must work for foreign companies that will afford to pay you good sum of money. You're in government, sometimes to acquire properties of the low group, you must steal. Because the pay one check at times not that sufficient to help you in any way. So these are issues that must be looked at. And this is not politics. This is Liberia. Because even some of you from the opposition working in government, you've been affected. Some of you from the ruling party, you're in government, you've been affected. But because you put politics everywhere to the extent that even if you've been strong related, you don't even look at the angle why things are happening, why things are not improving, or why, why we will lose our money in the budget to pay one man $15,000, and we can't find money in the budget to pay our officers $500. It's starting point. Our teachers, we send our children to schools around here. One school, because of that's the attitude of government and how people just throw things and don't do it. One school will charge you $500, $1,000 US for your kids. But they cannot afford to pay one teacher, even in student money not being paid. You go to some of the daycare schools, and they copy it from government, like government copy it. They just photocopy it, and they operate in the private sector with it. One school will charge the parent $300 to $400 in an academic year, but you cannot pay the teacher $400. But you will charge that amount. But to pay the teacher $200, $250 for that $500 charge me, no, it's too much. $150, you fee, that's more money you pay. We discuss. And these are the problems that we have in this country that have never been easily fixed. There are thousands of people that go to work on a daily basis, demotivated by what they earn. You get to one ministry, you find the woman or the man who in the maintenance area making the place started up, The minister walks in, some of his colleagues or who go to visit, they're telling him, thank you for the ministry. He's just shaking his head, nodding to it. Although he knows how that place clean, or she knows. But those are the people's salary that will be withheld. Their benefit, other things, will delay. though they make less, but they are not the people to be considered. You read about history when the chief thing, you see at point in time people are making $15 a month. Way back, coming to this time, people started earning $50. So put up $25. We got the resources. Burkina Faso, even though I don't love to mention his name because why may he stay a junta? Now cool. The plan could be right, but the form and manner in which, but civil servant salary will increase by almost 50%. Students are going to school.